What's also cool is that not only do you have Linda working with you and wanting, all the best for you guys, but you had Dave Sardi, legendary producer, produce your debut. What was it like working with him?
It was awesome. I mean, he's got, like, my brother and I are from Boston originally, and Dave's from Brooklyn, and so we had sort of this East Coast connection, and he's just sort of like a tough, kind of like a, or appears to be kind of tough kind of dude. But he's a sonic genius, really, and just such a great producer, and it was incredible to work with someone like him who's worked with all these big bands, and for him to see something in us that, maybe we didn't even see, or that, a lot of other people weren't seeing, or just, he just was just like, this, I have to do this, and so it was really, really amazing, and he did such a great job with the production and the pre-production aspect and the mixing, and just, it was such a trip, and we got to spend a lot of time with him. It wasn't like, we were with him like almost every day for about 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was like he was very, very involved, and it was very much a collaborative effort. And we wanted to do that with him. When we sat down to meet with him, we were like, we want to make this record with you. We want your ideas and our ideas. That's how I feel like things come out the best way. It's like, I don't feel like I have all the answers, and neither do the rest of the guys in the band, and we were just really into listening to him because he's made some hit records,
Yeah.
And so, you got to listen to someone like that. And we wanted someone who could also challenge us, because we feel like we know what we're doing on our instruments, There aren't too many people out there that I could say, oh, yeah, like, show me how to play this piano part. Like, I know what I'm doing. Like, I've been doing this. I went to school for music. There's not too many, in terms of rock and roll. Like, I almost feel like, in a way, like, no one's ever really played rock piano like I have. But I've worked really hard in terms of forming that. But so it's really difficult to have someone come in and all they can really say is, try something different. They can't really say, do this or do that.
Right.
They can say, drop the left hand here or whatever, But it's like, in terms of telling me what to play or telling Mike or Jason, it's like, we're very, very seasoned musicians. And he knew that, and he appreciated that when we got into the studio.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
He's like, you guys are making this so easy for me because you're players, Like, he says, you know how many times I get in the studios with bands that are good bands, but they get in there and it just takes forever to get takes. And you guys are just, we nailed all the drums in 5 days for the whole record that was done. And Jason's just a monster drummer. And, everything, all the bass was done in 1 week. All the piano was done in a week. And then all my vocals maybe took a little bit longer because we were kind of sorting out vocals and stuff. But it was a great experience. And he's just a super, super talented individual. And he definitely knows it. But, we all were kind of aware of our strengths and everything, and we just kind of put that all together to try to make the best record we could.
Cool. Now, you mentioned that before that there's a follow-up in the works. Are you in the pre-production phase, or are you actually recording it now?
No, we're in demoing.
Demoing phase, all right.
Yeah, we're not even in pre-production yet. We're just, I'm writing now. Now that I'm back in LA, I've been trying to write as much as I possibly can, and just writing new stuff and then bringing it to the band, and then we arrange a lot together. And sometimes, Mike will bring, an idea, and then we'll kind of change it and form it. And I in order for them to bring a song to me, I kind of have to feel like I own it, so that I can sing it to the best of my ability and perform.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to work with Dave again, or do you want to try something a little more, a producer a little different, or maybe something a little more left field? Or do you think that, why ruin the process right now? It's going pretty well. Would you go back to working with him?
I think we're gonna try working with someone different.
Okay.
Just because there's so many amazing producers.
Yeah, there are.
And mix engineers out there that is just like, who knows how many records we're going to make. And Sardi's amazing. I would totally recommend him. But I think we just want to make a different record. And I think that when you make a record with a producer, it's usually like that's the way they make a record. And we love the record that we made, but we want to try to go for something a little different, not really left field. We want to keep doing what we do best, which is try to make songs that are, can be edgy at times, poppy at times, and do the ballads and do the hard stuff, and just that's what the kind of band that we are. We're not a band that just does ballads. We're not a band that just does the hard rock stuff. We're the band that does all of it, just like a lot of the classic rock bands did. And I feel like there's less of that today. There's not as many bands that can put out a record that takes you for a ride and gives you all these different elements without changing the style. It's like the style is rock and roll, but you have the soft songs, the medium songs, and the hard songs. And you can really, as long as, I think that, that's the thing that we're trying to do, and that's the kind of band that we are, because we can do all those things,
It puts you on a bill that, you can play along with anybody at this point, which is great, and that's what you want, especially as a young band. But one of the coolest things, and I think probably one of the biggest things that's happened, probably to you personally, was that playing along with Chris Cornell in that now infamous Late Show taping of Imagine, which was actually the first time I ever heard of you, because I'm a massive Cornell fan, and I'm seeing this on TV. This is probably one of the most beautiful renditions of one of the greatest songs ever, but who's the guy playing with him? Oh, he's from Crash Kings, and then that's how, reading about that. How did that scenario come about?
Well, we were on tour. We were on this tour, and Chris called me on. I never really talked to him on the phone before. We had toured, together. So, and I think I'm trying to think. I think we hung out once, like after that. We hung out a bunch, like, backstage and all that stuff. And I mean, he's really into our band. I mean, he came, he came out on stage and did War Pigs with us the last show.
That's incredible.
Super supportive and just loves what we're doing, and wants to, he called me up and he's like, hey man, I got asked to do this thing, and are you going to be in town these days? I'm like, wow, I'm actually getting in town 2 days before that show. So I was like, conceivably, I could rehearse with you the day before. And he said, perfect. All right, done.
Oh, my God.
He goes, I couldn't really think of anyone better to do this with me. And I was like, wow, thank you so much. This is a huge honor. Like, I can't even believe it, like thank you. And he's like, no, thank you. And it was just like this very, crazy thing for me, because, I mean, look, Chris Cornell is like one of my biggest influences probably ever, of like for rock and roll singing and like for like, songwriting and everything. I mean, the dude's like undoubtedly a genius, and just such a great vibe too. So yeah, I went over to his studio and we played and talked for like 4 hours. We just like kind of hanging out and getting really deep and personal, and like cracking into some stuff. And he's really open, and and we felt really comfortable talking to each other. And it was amazing just hearing a lot of the stories that he has. Just a really incredible human being, and then we got to what was it, Conan O'Brien, and then it was amazing. It was such a great experience, and I was really honored that he asked me to do that.